I also recently realized that basically me and my close friends, we are the new adults. And obviously, you don't realize it till you get older. So for all the young bucks out there, 22, 19, 18, one day you guys will be the next adults too. And honestly, as the new adult, it feels like I should be doing way more important things with my life, which is why I started the podcast. So check out the podcast. It's already out. Link down below. Join it, listen to it, enjoy it. I share a lot of wisdom and I got a lot of friends that can share their wisdom as well. So that's what I'm doing as a new adult. Let's check out coping with being a Gen Z adult coming from the perspective of suburban Will. Let's go.
24, which means that I've been an adult for a few years now. I've got a college degree, a full-time
I
job.
feel I ain't gonna lie, as 24, yeah, maybe you start adulthood like 23 and a half. I'd give 23 and a half. It's like, yeah, you're in adult life, like for real.
My own health insurance, and even a 401k.
That's big.
And the biggest
Okay,
thing I learned about
401k.
being an adult
Let's
is
go.
it's freaking hard, man. And it's not even the things that sound like complicated adult things either, like filing taxes or picking the right health insurance plan or even buying a house. I don't have enough money for that yet. It's more like remembering which card
I'm
supposed to
familiar
give
with
them
that
when I go to
Zillow
the doctor
website.
to prove that I have health insurance. Being a Gen
This is a
Z
Chili's
adult
gift
is an
card.
interesting experience because even though I'm an adult, I don't always feel like one. I'm so used to older generations referring to us as the new generation that when mail comes with my name on it, I still get surprised. It's like I'm somewhere in between being a dumb kid and unk status. Like when I'm
Word.
at work where I have coworkers who have kids who are my age and they're all like, "Oh, you remind me of my grandson." And I'm like,
Huh.
haha, thanks.
And y'all in the
Wait,
same
grandson?
place.
But then I come home and hop on Valorant and there's 18-year-olds calling me
Calling
unk
you
and telling me
old.
to go file my taxes.
Yeah.
Like I'm only
Reported
24.
is crazy.
Half the time I don't even know what I'm gonna eat tonight. And I spent all my money on weapon skins. You know, I haven't eaten a vegetable in 3 weeks. Plus it's July. I filed my taxes back in April. Now that I'm an adult
Nice.
and have a full-time
A little late, but that's
adult
okay.
job, one thing nobody really prepared me for
I was
is
late
being
too.
in a mixed environment. You see, when you're in school, everybody's around the same age. So when you're
Yeah.
a freshman in college, seniors seem really mature, but they're really only a couple of years older than you. In real life, there's actual old people, and they've probably
In
been
real
working at your
life.
job since before you were born. My supervisor was telling me that this is his 25th year with the company, and that's crazy because that
Wow.
means he started in my position before my parents even thought about having a kid. So it took
Yikes.
everything in my power when he told me that to not be like, damn. I'm the youngest person on my team.
No, that's real. Like, what can you even really say if you hear something like that, bro? It's like, yeah, man, I've worked at this job longer than you've been alive. If anything, bro, that's a warning. Maybe you should get that. But yeah,
Like several decades, and all of my coworkers are really nice. But the
That's
age gap
cool.
kind of makes it hard to relate to them.
Was
at
good,
times.
gang.
Half the time, I
man.
don't even know what to talk to them about.
Mm.
So, what was 9/11 like?
Bro, I've asked the same question before to older people, but it was more of what was the world like before 9/11? That's how I phrased it.
It also doesn't help that we have very different lifestyles due to being in completely different stages in our lives. Like when we meet on Monday mornings and everyone's like, "What did you guys do this weekend?" And people are like, "Oh, my daughter had a soccer game this weekend. My
Nice.
son got his driver's license, so we went
Cool.
to look at cars. Me and my wife celebrated our 30-year anniversary and went to the beach."
Let's go.
Congratulations.
Wow, that's amazing.
I don't even like my wife.
I don't
And
even
they
like
turn
my
to me
wife.
and they're like, "What about you, Will? What did you do this weekend?" And I'm like, "The same thing I do every weekend. I slept in until noon,
Uh,
played Valorant for 6 hours." But I usually end up saying something like, "Oh, you know, I just took it easy, spent time with the fam." Yeah.
Yikes.
But I've been kind of
Yikes.
so either they think I'm lying or that I just really like hanging out with my family. On
Yeah.
the other side of that,
Nothing wrong with that. Hanging out with the family's cool.
sometimes I have to confront the fact that I'm getting older and that people younger than me might not find me relatable either. I was walking my dog at the park
For
one
real?
time, and
Nah,
this
that's
kid who
real.
was probably about 13 came up to me and started talking to me. And at some point I mentioned iCarly. You know, the TV show that we all know and love. And
The spinoff of what it would be like to be famous on the internet, and now people are legitimately famous on the internet. Yeah.
this kid looked at me and was like, "What's that?" And for the first time in my life, I felt old. The kids don't know about iCarly. And I don't really know how to feel about that.
I'm not either, to be honest.
That there are people who are younger than you who are more successul. Like
oh, yeah,
athletes and entertainers making millions. And you
besides that, there's actually a lot of young CEOs around here, man. A lot of them. There's a point in time in the time period where there was, 22-year-old CEOs being created like every couple of days. It's possible, definitely with the power of the internet. You just need to know where to look.
Find out they were born in like 2003. And for me, it's not really about the money. It's more about the fact that I was told that if I went to college and got a degree, I'd be set up for financial success.
You got lied to.
But instead, all I got was debt, which is the opposite. It feels like as a society, we're finally arriving at the conclusion that college costs way too much money, but you still can't get a job without it. So even though an 18-year-old can't borrow $2,000 to buy a car, it's completely fine to take out $30K to major in art. I don't really envy people who are young and successful, though.
Interesting.
I think that's a good thing. Besides, I don't even know what I would do with all of that money anyway. Most of mine goes to DoorDash. Another thing about being a Gen Z adult is that we get blamed for a lot of things. Like even for stuff that's not even our fault. You hear it all the time when people are like, this new generation is what's ruining America. But like, how? I've spent the majority of my life in school so far. You guys were the adults. It's like if I walked into your house and got a bit of dirt on the carpet and you're like, oh, you got dirt on my carpet. You're ruining my beautiful home. And it's like, bro, look at this place. Yeah, I might have messed up a little, but it looked like this long before I got here. Like, oh
That's
man,
true.
In 2004, I shouldn't have been wasting my time playing Sonic on my Game Boy. I
Classic.
should have been voting. Look, I've been old enough to vote for president.
You should have been investing.
Time, and I didn't exactly have the best options.
Yikes.
And honestly, they're only getting worse. I'm not saying it's all the older generation's fault the world is the way it is.
It 100% is. Who else's fault is it?
I'm just saying it definitely wasn't me. I will admit though, that Gen Z is responsible for changing a lot of things. The other day, I was reading an article that said that because of Gen Z, the Southern accent is dying, which I thought was interesting. Cool. Because I'm from Georgia, and I reckon I should be talking like this down over
like this over yonder.
But really, I'm from Atlanta, and I grew up on the internet. So I just sound like this.
Atlanta.
But I honestly can't blame older generations for their lack of faith in us, because when it comes to Gen Z, some of us are kind of dumb. Now that roughly
facts, bro, that brain rot does not help, to be honest. Like,
half of the generation is of voting age, we're starting to pay attention to politics. The problem is, a lot of people get their information from the wrong places. We all know that
Vicky
one
is
person
crazy.
Gets all of their news from Twitter and TikTok conspiracy videos. Bro, the weather has been crazy the past few days. It's been raining like every day. Yeah, it's Bill Gates. What? Oh, you don't know? Bill Gates has a weather machine that he's using to control the climate so that all of the natural food dies and we're forced to buy GMO food. And then they'll use it to control our minds and turn us into zombie slaves.
Yeah, and when I hear stuff like this, I believe like half of it is true. It's up to you to figure out which part is real, whether the Bill Gates is, changing the food, or if he has a weather balloon. Whichever one you want to decide is the truth is, up to you.
Huh.
You don't know really
on that? Yeah, bro, it's been all over my For You page. I can't believe you haven't seen it. Yeah, must have missed it. By the way, are you registered to vote by chance? Me? No way, bro. Those elections are rigged anyway. I saw it on Twitter. Okay, good. I mean, I was just curious. But as bad as we are, no one is more gullible online than the older generations. Sometimes I'll be at work and they'll be looking at an AI generated video of a dogfish like, oh my God, James, look what they're doing in Japan. Wow, that is insane.
That is insane.
Got the dog to do that with the fish. Guys, that's fake. It's AI generated.
And I can't blame them. I honestly can't blame them, bro. Like, I can at the same time, but it's like, AI is tricky and it's going to get trickier every day.
I mean, are you sure? Like, it looks pretty real. I feel like it could be real. It's not. My brother actually said he saw something like this when he was in Korea. Yeah. Crazy stuff they got going on out there. Can you send me this? I need to email it to him. Speaking of things that are fake, let's talk about dating. A lot of young adults these days think romance is dead. And, not quite. Like a lot of things, dating has been commodified by the internet. And instead of the old school meeting someone in your community, asking them out, and getting to know them over time, We have dating apps that skip all of those steps and sit you down with a complete stranger where you both pretend that this isn't awkward and hope that one of you isn't a murderer. I get the idea of dating apps, and I even know some people who are currently in happy, committed relationships with people they met on dating apps. I just don't think it's for me. I'm someone who requires the friends to lovers pipeline. However, I'm also a hypocrite.
Well, you could go on the dating app and put in your profile you're looking for friends and legitimately go out of your way to look for friends instead of hookups. You know, there's still you still got to put some effort in on your part, but I'm going to let you cook.
Because I say I'd like to meet someone in a more traditional way,
but
I also don't leave my house. E-dating has also become really popular among Gen Z too. And I used to look down upon e-dating and thought it was really cringe. And I still do. But if you found the love of your life in a Discord server, that's wonderful.
That's a dub.
Yes. Dating as a Gen Z adult is really interesting because despite having so many different ways to connect with one another, finding a genuine romantic connection with someone seems pretty hard. A lot of times, you feel more like an option than a partner to someone, and that's a pretty rough feeling. I think deep down, we all want someone who chooses us, but at the same time, we're so afraid to be the one doing the choosing. To me, dating is like a banana split.
Okay.
Hear me out. Look at this. Who has actually ever eaten a banana split?
Not me.
Genuinely.
No.
Have you ever walked up to the counter and been like,
I want a banana split.
You're a liar. But you know that a banana split exists and that it's probably really good. And you've heard from other people who've had one that it's awesome and you should try it.
I've never heard it from anybody.
Find the right moment to have one. 3 scoops of ice cream, bananas, and whipped cream is a lot to deal with.
That
and
is.
Honestly, I can't imagine a scenario
that's like a cheat day type of thing.
Eating that much ice cream by myself. But maybe one day, when the time is right, you'll get to try a banana split. And I hope it's everything you ever dreamed of. Okay, bro. Actually, what am I talking about?
I don't know, but you wishing some good stuff on people.
Burger dating analogy I've ever said like out of my mouth, bro. Like,
understandable.
Am I faded? One thing I will say though about being a Gen Z adult is that I genuinely think that no one else before us has had this kind of experience with adulthood. And I know that sounds like the typical Gen Zer thinking they're special, but if you really think about it,
the internet
really is different. Growing up in the digital age alongside computers and video games and social media,
the world is different
experience. You haven't been a Gen Z adult if your parents haven't told you to go walk into a business and ask for a job just for them to tell you to apply online like everyone else. Or having to tweak your resume a million times to avoid getting filtered out by AI recruiting algorithms. Or opening Twitter and seeing someone getting canceled for something they did when they were 12. Or trying to stay up to date on global issues so that you don't seem like a bad person, but you also want to take a break from your phone because you feel like a slave to it. I don't think the world was easier 20 years ago, but I do think that things were a lot less complicated before the internet. Finding your way as an adult is like walking around your room in the dark. Everything is familiar, but you don't really know where you're going.
That's a good analogy.
You how it's done, but for you, it just seems so different than before. And on top of it all, we're getting older. All of us. But no one really talks about it. I think that sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the fact that every day feels the same, but when you look back, everything is different. When I was 18, changes. I thought I had the world figured out, but now at 24, I feel dumber than ever. And my mom keeps telling me to go to the doctor, but I'm honestly kind of scared because I'm not 17 and my body.
The thing is, when you're 18 years old, right, and you think you got the world figured out, it's easy to think you have the world figured out because you're stuck in the same cycle of going to school. You just wake up, go to school, go home, right? Versus real life. Real life, it's definitely not like that. So yeah, it's understandable. Don't beat yourself up over it.
Keeps telling me to go to the doctor.
It's all good.
But I'm honestly kind of scared because I'm not 17 and my body isn't made of rubber anymore. They say your brain becomes fully developed when you turn 25, but the world doesn't feel any clearer. And when you wake up, go to work, come home, eat, and sleep every single day,
that's
you start
why
to wonder what your purpose even is in life.
That's why, bro, that's why it hasn't clicked, because you're doing the same thing, bro. You're not doing anything else. How can you expect things to change when you're doing the same thing? What is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. So if you don't change, or either put down Valorant and pick something else up, nothing's going to change, bro. Everything's going to be the same. And yes, you're going to lose your purpose in life because your purpose is doing the same things over and over again, expecting something else to change. Yeah. 100%. I can understand it.
Come home, eat, and sleep every single day. You start to wonder what your purpose even is in life. I remember coming home after about 3 months of working my first full-time job out of college and just wondering,
how was that?
Am I really supposed to just do this for the next 40 years of my life?
No. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. You can do whatever the hell you want to do in this world. It's just up to you to go do it.
I spent my time in college pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, challenging
Mhm.
myself,
That's
and
big.
growing as a person.
That's
And now my
big.
diploma collects dust on the top shelf of my closet while I sign into a computer every day and talk to no one for 8 hours. But you know
Hmm.
what? It'll probably be okay. I think that for Gen Z, we live in an unprecedented time with
It could.
unexpected challenges
Sure.
and circumstances that quite literally nobody could have seen coming. But there are so
Mhm.
many positives about living in the era we're in that I believe that in our hands, the world will become a better place. We might have been born too late to explore the world and born too early to explore the stars, but we were all born at the right time to watch Monkey D. Luffy become the Pirate King. Could you imagine being 24 100 years ago? No Spotify, no Twitter, no YouTube while I eat? I wouldn't have lasted a day. Sometimes I wish I could go back in time just so I could go
Yeah.
up to a Victorian child and put him on to some Playboy Cardi. People from
Word.
100 years ago will never know the pain of match MVPing in your ranked game just to lose because your teammates suck. The
Damn.
modern era comes with modern challenges, but I think
Yep.
that if anyone is equipped to handle the big questions in this life, like climate change or world hunger, or when is she gonna text me back, it's us, Gen Z. Thanks for watching the video. Also follow me on Twitter.
Dub.
Peace.
Dub. 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 So yeah, this was an interesting video, man. I literally, I was gonna go to bed and I saw this just pop up on my feed. Or coping being a Gen Z adult. It's like, yeah, I gotta see this. I gotta see this because I'm 26, so I've been an adult 2 years longer than Will has. So I'm here to let you know, because I'm a little bit older, right? You can definitely change it. It's not the end all be all, right? There are definitely ways in this world to get to where you want to be. And I believe that everybody can figure that out and find that out if they look within themselves. And that's all the spiritual mumbo jumbo I'm gonna give you because you can check out this whole channel if you ever want to learn more about that. I, I practice what I preach, and it brought you to me. So welcome. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. If you enjoyed, hit the like button on your way out. And if you really enjoyed, join the Discord link down below. Have a conversation, hang out, drop some videos, and I'll check them out too. And I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Y'all be safe. And remember, yeah, you're getting older. We're all getting older, but that doesn't mean life sucks. It just means you get older. That's it. All right. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.